What if Ned Stark told Robert the truth about Jon at Winterfell? Let's explore this alternate timeline together in the video. The king comes north in the year 298 with a dead man's chain in his baggage and a dead woman in his heart. Jon Arryn is barely cold in his grave, and Robert Baratheon has crossed half a kingdom to lay the handship at Ned Stark's feet. But before there can be talk of offices or betrothals, the king demands to be taken down into the dark, past the stone kings with their rusting iron swords, down to the last 3 tombs where Rickard Stark sits in judgment forever, flanked by Brandon and by Lyanna. Robert stares at the statue of the girl he was to marry and says the sculptor did not capture her. And Ned answers that she was a Stark of Winterfell and this is her place. And then Robert speaks of Rhaegar, of killing him every night in his dreams. And this is the moment where the timeline we know keeps walking and where our timeline stops. Because Ned looks at his sister's stone face and hears her voice as he has heard it for 14 years. Promise me, Ned. And for the first time, he wonders whether the promise was meant to be kept from Robert forever, or only until Robert was no longer a man who burned. He looks at his oldest friend, fat and grey and grieving, and decides the lie has cost enough.
Robert, before we speak of hands and marriages, there is something I must tell you. Something I swore I would carry to my own tomb. I find I cannot carry it past hers.
Gods, Ned, you look like a man about to confess a murder. Out with it, then. There's nothing you could say down here that's worse than what these crypts have already heard.
You are wrong about that. You asked me once who the mother of my bastard was, and I gave you a name. Wyler, a serving girl. I lied to you, Robert. I have lied to you every day for 14 years.
Is that all? 7 hells. I thought you were dying. You think I care whose skirts you lifted during the war? You're the only man in Westeros who'd flog himself over it this long.
Jon is not my son.
The words fall into the silence of the crypt like a stone into black water, and Robert's laughter dies halfway up his throat, and the king looks at Ned the way a man looks at a door he has walked past 10,000 times and never once opened.
Not your son? Then whose? Brandon's? Some northern lord who couldn't own him? Why in the gods' names would you take another man's shame and wear it like a cloak for 14 years?
Because his mother begged me to. Because she was dying and her blood was on my hands and my cloak and the floor, and she gripped my wrist hard enough to bruise and made me swear. Promise me, Ned. Those were her words. I have heard them every day since. I hear them now, standing in front of her.
Slowly, terribly, Robert's eyes travel from Ned's face to the statue beside them, to the stone girl with the stone roses, and Ned watches the understanding crawl across the king's features, like frost across a window.
No, you shut your mouth. You shut your damned mouth, Ned Stark.
Lyanna died in a bed of blood in a tower in Dawn, and she died giving birth to a son. The boy in the yard above us, the boy the whole North calls my bastard, is her child. She named him before the end. She put him in my arms and made me promise to keep him safe. And there was only one way to keep a promise like that. So I brought him home, and I let the world believe I had dishonored my wife. And I told my king a serving girl's name.
Her child, and whose? Say it. Say the name, damn you.
You already know the name. You have been killing him in your dreams for 14 years.
What happens next is not speech. Robert's fist closes in the front of Ned's doublet and slams him back against Rickard Stark's tomb, and there is nothing in the king's face that Ned knows, only the thing that swung a warhammer through a prince's chest on the trident and never stopped swinging it.
Rhaegar's whelp. You've had Rhaegar Targaryen's whelp under your roof, at your table, playing with your children for 14 years, and you dare tell me this while I stand at her grave. I ought to kill you where you stand. I ought to go up those stairs and put my hammer through that boy's skull and send his bones to the wall in a sack.
Then you will do it through me, and you will do it in front of her.
You think I won't? You think there's anything in this world I've wanted more than the last of that dragon filth dead? Viserys, the girl, all of them. I've wanted them in the ground since the trident, and you've been keeping one for me like a pet. Like a... Gods, Ned, he's hers. He's hers.
And there it is, the crack in the mountain, because the rage runs out of the sentence halfway through and something else floods in behind it, and Robert staggers back and puts a hand against Lyanna's tomb to hold himself up.
He's hers. That boy up there, the quiet one, the one with the long face, that's her son. That's Lyanna's son. And I've spent 14 years drinking myself blind over her, and her son was alive the whole time, eating at your table, and I never knew. I stood in this crypt an hour ago and told you I kill Rhaegar every night, and her son could hear my voice through the stones.
Yes.
Why did she make you promise? Answer me that. Why did she need a promise? What did she think would happen to the boy if he were found?
Robert.
Say it!
She was afraid of you. She was dying, and with her last breath, she was afraid of what you would do to her son. You had already smiled at what was done to Rhaegar's other children. Elya's babes wrapped in Lannister cloaks and laid at your feet like trophies, and you called them dragon spawn. She knew. Somehow, bleeding out in that bed, she knew what had happened in King's Landing, or she guessed it, and her last thought in this world was that the man who loved her would murder her child.
There are men who can hear a thing like that and stay standing, and Robert Baratheon is not one of them. The king slides down the side of the tomb until he is sitting on the cold floor like a beggar, and the sound he makes is one that Ned will never speak of as long as he lives.
I built it all on her. Do you understand that? The rebellion, the throne, the whole bloody kingdom. Every man who died from the Trident to the Tower. I told myself it was for her. Rhaegar stole her. Rhaegar raped her. Rhaegar killed her. And I was her vengeance. That was the story. That was my story. And now you stand there and tell me her dying breath was fear of me.
I am telling you what she asked of me. Nothing more. I was not in that tower with them all those months. I do not know her heart. I know only that when I found her, there were rose petals in her hand, blue ones, and she was not raving against Rhaegar. She was thinking of her son.
Rose petals. Blue roses. He crowned her with blue roses at Harrenhal, in front of all of us. In front of me.
I remember.
Did she go with him willingly? Is that the rest of it? Is that the last knife you've got for me tonight? Was there ever a kidnapping at all? Or did the girl I loved run off with the Dragon Prince? And did half of Westeros die for a war built on a runaway bride?
I have asked myself that question every day for 14 years, and I will give you the only honest answer there is. I do not know. She never said, and I never asked, because she had minutes to live and a child to protect, and none of the rest of it mattered. But I will tell you what I believe as her brother. Lyanna was never in her life dragged anywhere she did not choose to go. You knew her, Robert. Better than that, you loved her. Was she a girl who could be stolen?
For a long time, the king does not answer. He sits beneath the stone eyes of the woman he has mourned for 14 years, and the torch burns down, and down here, two men are watching an entire world die.
No, she couldn't be stolen. She told me so herself, at Harrenhal, near enough. She told me love wouldn't change my nature, and she was right, and I laughed it off, because I never once listened to a word that girl actually said. I loved her face, Ned. I built a war on her face.
You built it on more than that. Ares burned my father alive. He strangled my brother in front of his own court. He demanded your head and mine for no crime at all. Whatever the truth of Lyanna and Rhaegar, the war was coming. The Mad King saw to that. Do not let this take the trident from you. But the boy, Robert, I need to know what you mean to do about the boy.
Robert hauls himself up off the floor and stands before Lyanna's statue a long moment. And when he turns back, his voice is the voice of a man walking on a broken leg.
I don't know. 14 years I've known exactly what I'd do to the last dragon I found, and now I don't know. And that frightens me more than any battle I ever fought. Get me out of this crypt, Ned. Get me somewhere with wine in it, and don't you dare let me near that boy tonight. Not tonight. I can't answer for what I'd do, and if I hurt her son, if I so much as frighten him, then everything I've ever believed about myself dies down here with her.
So they climb out of the dark together, and the king does not go to the feast. Robert shuts himself in the guest chambers with 3 flagons of sour red, and Ned sits outside that door all night like a sentry, listening to a man take his own life apart stone by stone. Once, long after midnight, he hears weeping, and he closes his eyes and thinks of a bed that smelled of blood and roses.
Promise me, Ned. If Robert learns of him, he will kill him. You know he will. He is not evil, but he is a storm, and storms do not choose what they break. Promise me.
I promised her, Robert. But sitting here tonight, I wonder if I promised the wrong thing. She asked me to keep him from a storm. She never made me swear the storm could not one day pass.
He says it to the door, to the dark, to no one. Toward dawn, the noises stop, and when the door opens, the king stands there hollow-eyed and sober, in a way that has nothing to do with wine, and he speaks 5 words.
Take me to the yard.
The morning yard of Winterfell is already ringing with steel, Robb battering at Theon under Ser Roderick's eye, and off to the side, apart as he is always apart, a lean, dark-haired boy of 4 and 10 works through his forms alone. Robert stops at the rail and watches Jon Snow, the way a man watches a ghost. Every boy in the castle has crowded down to see the king, and up on the roofs there is no small climbing boy today. And so a boy who might have gone climbing on another morning, in another timeline, stands safely in the mud with his brothers, and no one will ever know what that was worth.
He moves like her. Gods be good, Ned, look at him. That's her seat on a horse. That's her chin when she was being stubborn. That's... How did I never see it? I've met the boy before. 9 years ago, when I came north after Greyjoy, I looked right at him and saw nothing.
Men see what they are told to see. I told the world he was mine, and so the world saw a Stark. He is a Stark, Robert. Whatever else is in him, the North is in him deeper.
Call him over.
Robert.
I'm not going to hurt him. I gave you my word an hour ago, and I'll give it again every hour you like. But I have to hear him speak. I've spent the whole night killing him in my head, Ned. The way I killed his father. And every time I did, she was standing behind him. I have to look at him or I'll go mad. Call him.
So Ned calls, and Jon Snow comes to the rail with his practice sword still in hand, and he bows the way a bastard bows to a king, too low and too careful, and the whole world balances on the point of a needle.
Your Grace, forgive me. I'm not fit to stand before a king. Sir Roderick has had us at drills since first light.
A man who's not sweating at your age is a man who'll be dead at mine. What's your name, boy?
Jon, Your Grace. Jon Snow.
Jon. That's a good name. Strong name. I knew a Jon once. Best man I ever met. Raised me when my own father drowned. Show me your forms, Jon Snow. The ones you were doing just now, alone in the corner. Sir Roderick teaches you all the same dance, but you were doing something different with your back foot.
My back foot? Yes, Your Grace. Sir Roderick teaches us to plant and swing, but I'm not built like Robb. I'm not going to knock a man down with weight I don't have, so I keep the back foot loose. If I can't be the hammer, I thought I'd best learn to not be the nail.
For a moment the king says nothing, and Ned's hand drifts without meaning to toward his sword. And then Robert throws back his head and laughs, huge and helpless and edged with grief, and it rolls around the yard until the boys stop their drills to stare.
Not be the nail. 14 years old and he's already wiser than his king. Boy, I've spent my whole life being the hammer. And I'll tell you a secret. The hammer breaks too. It just takes longer. And nobody weeps for it. Go on, back to your drills. And Jon Snow, keep that back foot loose. Never let anyone plant you where you don't choose to stand.
Jon bows and goes, puzzled and pleased, and when Robert finally turns to Ned, his eyes are wet and his jaw is set, and Ned has known this man 30 years and has never once seen this expression on his face.
He'll not go to the wall. I heard the talk last night. Your brother taking him north to take the Black. A boy of 14 buried alive in ice because the world's got no place for him. No. Her son does not spend his life freezing at the end of the earth, guarding against snarks and grumpkins while Lannisters grow fat in my castle.
Then what would you have instead? Think carefully. Every path for that boy runs past people who would use him or kill him. The wall is cruel, but it is safe. It is the one place in the world where his blood means nothing.
His blood means nothing. His blood is the only thing of her left on this earth, and you'd bury it in a snowdrift. No, he comes south with me, as my squire.
Have you lost your wits entirely? You take him into the Red Keep? Into the same halls as Cersei Lannister and her father's spies? Into the court that danced when Rhaegar's children were butchered? You cannot protect him there. I could not protect my own father there.
And that's the difference between us, Ned. Your father knelt to a mad king, and mine drowned in a storm. But I am the king. Who touches the king's own squire? Who questions why Robert Baratheon favors the blood of Lyanna Stark, the woman the whole realm knows he never stopped loving? Don't you see it, man? The truth is the armor. Half of it, anyway. The boy is my dead love's nephew, so far as the world knows, and no one will find it strange that I keep him close. It's the best lie either of us has ever told, because every word of it is true, except one.
And the one word is the one that kills him if it's ever spoken. Robert, I swore to her.
You swore to keep him safe. You never swore to keep him small. 14 years you've done it your way, and your way meant the boy ate at the foot of the table in his own home and was headed for the wall at 14. Let me do 14 years my way. I owe her that. I owe her son a life, Ned, because whether she ran or whether she was stolen, it was my war that put her in that tower, and my rebellion she was hiding from, and my name she was afraid of with her last breath. You carried the promise. Let me carry the boy.
Ned Stark, who has argued with kings and won, finds he has no argument left because for the first time since the Trident, Robert Baratheon is asking to carry something instead of break it. That night, Ned climbs to his wife's chambers because one lie ending has a way of pulling others out at the root. He tells her everything: the tower, the bed of blood, the promise, and Catelyn Stark listens in perfect stillness, her sewing forgotten in her lap.
14 years. 14 years I have looked at that boy's face and seen your sin in it. I prayed, Ned. I prayed to the Seven to make me love him, and I could not, and I hated myself for it. And then I hated him for making me hate myself. And every day, every single day, you could have ended it with one sentence, and you let me carry it.
Yes, I let you carry it, and I will not insult you by asking forgiveness tonight. But understand what the sentence would have cost. You are Tully and Went and half the Riverlands, Cat. You write to your sister, you speak to your uncle. You were raised in a court of ravens. Every person who knew was a knife at that boy's throat. And I could not, I would not, put the knife in your hand and ask you to sleep beside it. It was never that I doubted your honor. It was that I could not make you a party to treason against a king you had never met, for a boy you had never asked for.
Treason. Yes, that is the word, isn't it? You made your own wife into someone to be protected from the truth, like a child, and you made yourself an oathbreaker to your king, and you made that motherless boy into a whipping post for my pride. And all of it, Ned, to keep one promise to one dead girl. Was it worth it?
He is alive, Cat. He is 14 years old and he is alive, and Balon Greyjoy's sons are dead, and Elia Martell's children are dead, and every other child in this story is dead. Yes, it was worth it. I would pay it all again except one part. I would not pay you again. That was the coin I had no right to spend.
No, you had no right.
She rises and goes to the window, looking out at the yard, and when she speaks again, her voice is not soft, because Catelyn Stark is not soft, but it is honest.
I will tell you the worst of it, husband. Somewhere underneath the anger, there is a part of me that is relieved, so relieved I could weep, that you never betrayed me at all. And I hate that part of myself too, because it means my forgiveness can be bought with my own vanity. Give me time. Do not ask me to love the boy now. It is too late for that, and we both know it. But I will pray for him. Rhaegar Targaryen's son, raised under my roof. The mother must have a sense of humor after all. Does the king truly mean to take him south?
He does, as his squire. And Cat, there is more you should know because it touches Sansa. Robert came north with two offers, my daughter for his son, and the Handship for me. And this morning I refused them both, and he accepted the refusal like a man who no longer trusts his own plans. There will be no betrothal, and I will not go south. Whatever the king builds now, he builds it without a Stark at his right hand, because my place is here. And after tonight, I think he finally understands why a man might choose his home over a throne.
The royal party leaves a week later, and the leaving is nothing like the leaving might have been. There is no direwolf savaging a prince on the King's Road, because there is no betrothed princess riding south. Sansa weeps for a week over the queen's son she will never marry, and will thank the gods for it before she is 20. There is only a king, a queen who cannot understand why her husband has come back from the north with a stranger's face, and one dark-haired boy riding beside the royal wheelhouse with everything he owns in 2 saddlebags. On the morning of the parting, Ned walks Jon out past the gates himself.
I still don't understand it. A week ago, I was going to the war with Uncle Benjen, and now I'm to squire for the king himself. Bastards don't squire for kings, father. Theon's been saying it all week, that his grace must have lost the wager, or lost his mind. Why me?
Because he looked at you in the yard and saw someone he loved. That is the truth. And one day, I hope, you will understand how much truth is in it. Listen to me now, Jon, because I have 3 things to say and the column is forming. First, the king is a better man than the stories you will hear about him in the south, and a worse one too. And he will need you more than you need him, though neither of you knows it yet. Serve him honestly.
I will. You know I will. What's the second thing?
The second is this. There will come a day, and I cannot tell you when you learn why all of this happened, why the wall was ever spoken of, why the king wept in our crypts, why I could never speak to you of your mother. When that day comes, you will be angry with me, and you will have the right. I ask only that you remember one thing through the anger. Everything, all of it, every silence was because you were loved. Not in spite of what you are, because of it.
You're frightening me. You talk like a man going to a scaffold. Just tell me now, whatever it is. I'm not a child. I've spent my whole life being told I'm not old enough for one truth, father. My mother. At least give me her name. You owe me a name.
I owe you far more than a name, and that is exactly why you cannot have it on a roadside with the king's column watching. But I will make you a promise, and you know what a promise is worth from me. You will have the whole of it, every word, from someone who loved her before you were a man grown. Not a name shouted after a horse. The whole truth given properly as she deserved. Can you carry that promise and still ride south with a whole heart?
Someone who loved her. So she's dead then. She's dead, and you loved her. That much I can hear even in what you won't say.
The third thing is the shortest. You are a Stark, not a Snow, whatever the name says, not whatever the South will call you. When the Red Keep is cruel, and it will be cruel, you go to the Godswood, you find the oldest tree in it, and you remember there is a castle in the north where your blood has been king's for 8,000 years. Now go, your king is waiting, and it is bad manners to keep a king waiting, even for a Stark.
So the boy rides south, and the great machinery of the timeline we knew begins, gear by gear, to fail to turn. No Stark household goes to King's Landing, so no Catelyn passes through the Vale with a captive dwarf. No trial. No armies called over an insult that never happens. Lysa Arryn's poison letter still comes, blaming the Lannisters for her husband's death, and Ned reads it in Winterfell, writes back one line of condolence, and burns it because the letter was always bait on a hook, and in this timeline, the fish never swims. In King's Landing, a queen who spent the whole northern progress waiting for the Axe of Discovery slowly understands that no one is investigating anything. And Cersei Lannister does the most dangerous thing she has ever done, which is nothing. 2 secrets settle over the Red Keep like snow, hers and his, and each one buries the other, and the realm calls it peace. The change in the king, the court sees within a moon's turn. Robert still roars, still hunts, but the wine has lost its grip on him, and Jon Arryn's chain goes at last to Stannis. Because grief has made him honest, and honest men want honest hands, even when they cannot love them. And always, one pace behind the king, there is the squire. And the lords who came to sneer at the northern bastards stop sneering the first time they see Robert Baratheon, who listens to no one, lean down to listen to the boy. It is on a hunt in the Kingswood, in the 3rd year, that the debt between them is paid in iron. The hounds run a boar to ground, the biggest any huntsman has ever seen, and the king is off his horse with a spear because some part of him still needs to be the hammer. And the beast comes out of the brush fast, and the king's boot slips in the mud. In another world, there is wine in his blood, and no one close enough, and a kingdom bleeds for 5 years because of one boar. In this world, the king is sober, and his squire is 17, and has never once left the position Sir Barristan taught him. 1 pace back, spearside. Jon Snow steps inside the charge, refusing to be the nail, and the beast dies with the squire's spear in its heart and the king's in its spine. That night, in a hunting tent by firelight, the last lie ends.
Sit down, boy. No, not there. Sit here, across from me, where I can see your face. You bled for me today. There's a thing I've owed you for 3 years, and I find I can't owe it another night. What do you know about your mother?
Nothing, Your Grace. Only that my father promised me the whole truth one day, from someone who loved her. I've stopped asking. When I was a boy, I invented mothers the way other children invent monsters. She was a scepter. She was a fisherman's daughter. She was a great lady too far above a second son, a different one every year.
A great lady too far above. Aye. You got closer than you knew. Look at me, Jon. Your father, Ned, he told you that you'd have the truth from someone who loved her. He wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about me. And I think the stubborn, honourable bastard knew it the day he put you on that horse. Your mother was Lyanna Stark, Ned's sister, my betrothed, the woman I tore the 7 kingdoms apart for.
The fire cracks and the boy goes very still, and Robert watches him do the arithmetic that 14 years of silence was built to prevent.
Lyanna Stark died in the war. She died in Dorne, in a tower. And Prince Rhaegar, they say Prince Rhaegar took her, and you killed him for it. If she's my mother, then my father, the man my father protected me from all these years, the reason that I was almost sent to the wall, Your Grace, am I sitting in this tent with the man who has the most cause in the world to kill me?
Yes, you are. And I want you to hear what I'm about to say and believe every word, because I've had 3 years to be sure of it. The night Ned told me, in the crypts under your home, I wanted you dead. I stood over your mother's bones and told her brother I'd put a hammer through your skull. And I meant it, for about as long as it takes to say it. And then I sat in a room all night with 3 flagons of wine and your mother's ghost. And do you know what I couldn't get past? She was afraid of me, boy. Her last breath in this world was spent protecting her son from me. 14 years I called myself her avenger. And the truth is, I was the monster at the end of her story. A man learns that about himself, and then he makes a choice. He can drown it, and gods know I tried drowning things for 14 years. Or he can spend what's left of his life proving her wrong. You're not my squire because you're quick with a spear, Jon. You're my squire because you are the proof.
Then everything I am is a lie. My name, my face, my father, even my shame. I spent my whole life ashamed of being a lie that was protecting me from you. I don't, Your Grace, I don't know what you want me to say. Am I supposed to thank you? Forgive you? I'm the son of a man you dream of killing.
Dreamed. Past. I haven't had that dream in 3 years, and I'll tell you the day it stopped. It stopped the morning a boy in a muddy yard told me he decided not to be the nail. As for what you're supposed to say, nothing. Say nothing. Rage at me. Take a swing at me if it helps. You've earned 1 hit today, and I'll not even take your head for it. But hear the rest first, because your mother deserves the whole account. I don't know if she loved him. I don't know if she ran or was taken, and neither does Ned. And anyone who claims to know is selling something. What I know is that she was 16, and she was braver than the whole pack of us. And the war that killed her had 100 fathers. Mine, Rhaegar's, Aerys's, her own father's pride. and I let the world hang all 100 of them around one dead prince's neck. Because it was easier than looking at my share. You want to hate someone for what you are? There's a long line, boy, and I'm in it. But your mother's not. Whatever else is true, she looked at you for the little time she had, and she spent her last strength making sure you'd live. Start there. Build the rest on that.
Does the Queen know? Does anyone?
Ned, Lady Stark, you, me. One crannogman in the neck who'd die before he spoke. That's the world, and that's the world it stays. I'll not dress it up, Jon. The truth about your blood is a sword over your head every day you breathe. And there are people in this very castle, I'll not say who would see you dead by morning if they knew. Not for hate of you, but for fear of what your name could do. So Snow, you stay. But understand what you are to me, because I'll only say it once, and then we'll go back to king and squire and never speak of it sober again. You are the last of her. You are the one thing to come out of all that death that she'd have wanted saved. And as long as there is breath in this fat old body, no one, not a Lannister, not a lord, not a god, touches you. Now pour us both a cup. Water for you, and hell's water for me too. And drink to your mother, and then get some sleep. You killed a boar today. She'd have liked that. She'd have liked you, Jon. That's the thing I'm sorriest about in all of it. Of everyone she never got to know, I think you're the one she'd have liked best.
The years that follow are not a song, because peace never is. Stannis grinds through the realm's debts like a millstone, and is hated for it and does not care. Renly sulks, the Lannisters coil and wait for a weakness that does not come. Then, in the 4th year, word arrives that the beggar king's sister has wed a Dothraki horse lord, and the old Robert would have demanded poison before the letter was done being read. This Robert asks his squire, in front of the whole council, what a king should do about a frightened girl across the sea, whose only crime is her father's name. And Jon Snow answers that the last time a king feared a child's blood more than he trusted his own strength, the war never ended. It only learned to wait. And Robert laughs and tells Varys there will be no knives, that the girl can keep her horse lord and her grass, and that if she ever comes west, hammers are cheap and the trident is still where he left it. No poisoner rides east. A carl with no vengeance to take never turns his hoard toward the poison water, and a girl who is never hunted never learns how much fire she was born to need. In the 8th year, the king rides north. He tells the court it is a royal progress, and it is a lie, and the only man who knows the truth rides beside him, 23 now, knighted after the boar over every protest, because the king does not hear protests. Ned Stark meets them at the gate, greyer, his sons grown around him like a wall, and that night, 3 men go down into the crypts together carrying winter roses.
Well, girl, I told you I'd bring him when he was ready, and Ned told me you hated broken promises, so here we are, the 3 of us, the whole sorry conspiracy. He's better than both of us, you'll be pleased to know. Your brother's honor, and none of my vices, and your own damned stubbornness. God's help the realm.
She would want it said plainly, so I will say it plainly. We did what you asked, Leah. He grew up safe, and he grew up loved. And now he stands here whole, knowing everything, hating no one. It cost more than you knew to ask. It was worth more than we knew to give.
I used to play down here as a boy. I hid behind your tomb once, Mother, to frighten Sansa, with flour in my hair for a ghost. I must have passed you 1,000 times and never known I was passing the answer. I don't know what to say to a statue, so I'll say what I'd have said to you. I lived. Whatever you were afraid of that night in the tower, it didn't happen. The storm you feared carried me on his shoulders instead, and I'm not angry anymore. Not at any of you, not even at the prince, because all your secrets and all your lies and all your promises added up to one thing in the end, and the thing was me, alive, standing here. That has to be enough. I think, wherever you are, that it's enough.
They leave the roses in her stone hand, blue as the ones from Harrenhal, and as they turn to go, Ned Stark would swear until his dying day that the whisper he heard behind him in the dark had changed at last. That after 17 years, the voice no longer said, "Promise me," but softer, fainter, like snow settling, "Thank you." That's my view of this alternate timeline. Westeros is a land filled with exciting stories and endless possibilities, and we are here to uncover them with you.